Okay, we're going to jump right into the third video presentation in the 18 winning email themes and ideas module. At this point, we've covered the first 12 winning email themes, and you should have email introductions written for each of those 12 themes for your specific product, service, or promotion. So if you have all that done, then we're ready to jump into the final 6 winning email themes. And we'll start it off with the reason why email. And this email is pretty straightforward. You're essentially telling your prospect that there's a reason why something is the way it is. Ideally, this reason why should be an interesting phenomenon. So something surprising and valuable is going to work great. Um, I'm going to read an example to you in just a second, and in this example, we're going to talk about why a certain nutrient is so great. Here's the reason why this nutrient is so amazing, so incredible. But you could also use it with a specific benefit, why that benefit is, or like a big horrifying problem, the reason why behind it, and so on. So here's the example, the nutrient example. It says, there's a reason why, at a staggering $900 per pound, raw coenzyme Q10 may be the single most valuable nutrient on the planet. 300 studies by 200 researchers in 18 countries have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt this Nobel Prize winning substance really can help energize your heart, your brain, and your muscles, maintain normal blood pressure and heart rhythm, and banish chest pain, insulate you from deadly free radicals that make you old and sick before your time, provide the abundant energy your cells need to repair themselves and reproduce normally, end sleep problems, ramp up your natural immunity, and shield your heart and brain from disaster. So why haven't you had your COQ10 miracle yet? So this example, it actually combines several themes. There's the bullets, there's the bullet pointed lists. We also use the proof, and the proof would be Nobel Prize winning substance. That's a powerful statement right there and offers proof. But they're all revolving around the reason why. So we set it up with there's a reason why this product is so great. So the other themes are used, but they're all setting up the reason why the key points are the way they are, why the bullets are true, and the reason why studies prove it can help the prospect. Okay, so the next theme is the simple fact email. This is a great theme for setting up your sales argument. You make your very first sentence something authoritative, something that you absolutely know your prospect will agree with. And this is crucial. If they don't agree with this first sentence, you might lose them right there. But if you know your prospect really well and you're confident you can come up with this authoritative sentence that your prospect is going to be sucked into agree with, then you could be onto something really great. And at the same time, your email statement of fact must be something he doesn't hear often. So you don't want to hit him with something authoritative that he already knows, something that's common knowledge to him. He's heard it before. You want it to be more of a confirmation of an underlying belief or truism that sounds unique and powerful when verbalized. The point being that once your prospect firmly believes this fact, and then it's on the top of his mind, it's really easy for you to transition to the successive points in your sales argument. So let's look at an example to see what I mean. This example, energy is life. Without sufficient energy, your muscles lose their strength and stamina, and you lose your spunk. Your get up and go. Fatigue, lethargy, and depression can take hold of you, and life begins to pass you by. That's the kind of energy crisis you can feel right down to your bones. And when you feel that way, you can bet your bottom dollar something else is happening inside of you, something insidious. So in this example, the first sentence is energy is life. It sounds simple on face value, but it's actually a really powerful 3 words, a powerful sentence. If energy is life, then it's simple for your brain to just instinctually jump to the conclusion that if energy is life, then lack of energy is death. And that's kind of a disturbing thought. No one wants to live their life like death. Um, so that opening sentence, the power is going to grow as you read through the next paragraphs. And it basically confirms that without energy, you aren't living at all. Um, so we're really working on the prospect there, showing him the benefit. Energy is life. Here's how we can get you that energy. And the email goes on to work into that even more. All right, the next theme is the simple introduction email. So we're going to use this one when the author of your actual promotion is both interesting and credible. Um, and this is often rather, the most powerful approach is just to introduce him. You don't need to do a big workup; just introduce him. Keep in mind that if you're writing this email to drive traffic to your own promotion, then this person could be you. You could be introducing yourself. Um, when you do this, you want to make sure one of three things. You either want to quickly build credibility, intrigue the daylights out of your prospect so that he can't help but read further, and ideally get to the payoff, exactly how this person can solve your prospect's problems, plus achieve the most desired benefits. So here's an example of this. Reads, my name is Nick Guarino. I'm the editor of the Wall Street Underground, the largest financial newsletter of its kind in the world. I'm writing you from a secret, heavily guarded location somewhere in the Northern Hemisphere. Although I was born in and love America, I can no longer live in the United States. I would love to, but I can't. I communicate with associates via specially scrambled satellite phones. My email is encrypted and shuffled across 24 internet servers in as many countries, so my location cannot be traced. I never send or receive faxes or regular mail. In fact, my closest associates have no idea where I live or even how to call me on the phone. Most have not seen me in years. Why the secrecy? Well, let me put it this way. There's a $5 million price on my head. Everyone from Bill Clinton to Bill Gates would like to see me dead. So in this example, we're introducing Nick Guarino. Well, you've never heard of him? Well, that's perfectly fine. But we establish his credibility immediately. And we do that by stating he's the editor of Wall Street Underground, the largest financial newsletter of its kind. And even if you haven't heard of Wall Street Underground, that title, just its actual title is kind of powerful, Wall Street. That brings credibility, just that word. Him being the editor brings credibility, and that it's the largest publication of its kind. That brings even more credibility. So we accomplish the first step, we build that credibility, and then after that, we use that story, him hiding out and all that stuff, to build mystery and intrigue. So Nick's story, it almost sounds like it's straight out of a Bond movie. Of course, you can only use this when you've got a highly credible and intriguing person that's behind the product. Otherwise, you're going to bore your prospect and you're going to lose them. All right, the next theme is the story email. And I don't need to tell you that humans love stories. Stories engage us, they entertain us, they teach us. And it's difficult for somebody to stop reading a good story. And if in your research of your product, service, of whatever you're promoting, if in that research you can find a story that sucks you in, chances are you've got solid gold on your hands. You're just going to need to take that story, distill it down to 3 to 4 very compelling paragraphs to make up your email, and then follow the other email guidelines and incorporate the principles from the other themes. And you're gonna come up with one heck of a story that's gonna really grip your prospect and suck them in. So let's look at an example of a story email. It says, "Dear reader, on a beautiful late spring afternoon, 25 years ago, 2 young men graduated from the same college. They were very much alike, these 2 young men. Both had been better than average students, both were personable, and both, as young college graduates are, were filled with ambitious dreams for the future. Recently, these men returned to their college for their 25th reunion. They were still very much alike. Both were happily married, both had 3 children, and both, it turned out, had gone to work for the same Midwestern manufacturing company after graduation, and were still there. But there was a difference. One of the men was manager of a small department of that company. The other was its president. So you can see how this story kind of captures you in. You want to see where it's going, and it's also relatable. And it sets up the reader at the end here, and the email goes on a little bit longer, but it sets up the reader to wonder, what did the one do to become the president? What was different in his life? They're so the same. Why was he different? But more importantly, your prospect is going to question whether he's going about his life in a way that's going to make him president of a company or just the manager of a small department. Um, and the other thing I like about the story theme is when you write like a story, people are used to reading like that. People are used to reading books, so it's very easy for them to read through that kind of email. It doesn't seem something out of the ordinary. It's not scary to them. It's just like they're reading a book, and so it keeps them moving through because it's so easy to read. The next theme is the right wrong email. And this one's been proven to work. And what it does is you want to start by attacking and debunking your prospect's common assumptions. What are his beliefs? What does he believe to be true? And we want to attack those beliefs and show them to be false. Because there's really nothing more startling and really intriguing than finding out that you've been dead wrong about something, especially when the implications to knowing the truth are immense. And this is why you often see the right wrong theme used in health and financial markets, because myths and fallacies in these areas can cost the prospect a fortune or even his life. Let's see, the trick is to know your prospect well enough that you can present the exact assumptions that are holding him back. And once you debunk this false stuff, it's really just a matter of showing how your product is the truth and the amazing benefits that await him when he actually gets to your product, when he discovers that truth. Here's what he's going to have. Here's the benefits. So let's get into an example of this. It says, you can't beat the indexes and stay safe. Wrong. It's impossible to pick stocks with complete certainty. Wrong again. There's just no way I could make 37,000% profit in buy and hold stocks. This is so wrong. It's crazy to even think I could be $1 million richer this time next year. Let me prove it to you. In the pages of this free guidebook, you're about to discover that almost everything you've been told is impossible about investing is just wrong. You'll learn that there are 5 simple steps that are so effective, academics and Wall Street professionals are studying them as breakthroughs. You'll discover that once you take every scrap of guesswork out of your investing decisions, all you're left with is profit, pure profit. So this example, it shocks the prospect right off the bat by telling him that these truths that he's so solidly believed in are not true. You can't beat the indexes and stay safe. His belief, wrong. It's impossible to pick stocks with complete certainty. That's his belief, wrong again. So again, you can see how important it is to make sure that you pick beliefs that your prospect actually believes. For instance, if you say you can't beat the indexes and stay safe, and he already doesn't believe that to be true, you're not shocking him by saying it's wrong. So you got to really know your prospect. So then we're going to debunk them. Wrong, wrong, wrong. What he believed is wrong. And then we're going to introduce our benefit. In the pages of this free guidebook, you're about to discover almost everything you've been told is impossible. You'll learn the 5 simple steps that are so effective, academics and Wall Street professionals are starting them as breakthrough, right? And then you're going to end up with profit, profit, profit. And of course, that's what our prospect wants. He's reading this financial email. We hooked him in on a financial thing. He's our prospect. His interest is in making money, and that's what we're going to do. So the point here, when deciding what ideas you're going to say are wrong, again, make sure they feed into your key points later and that your prospect would actually want these ideas to be wrong, right? You can't beat the indexes and stay safe. That might be his belief, but how great would it be if that was wrong? Well, you're telling them it is wrong. Okay, we're on to our last email theme, which is the you're about to discover email. And this type of email is pretty straightforward. It's fairly simple. Um, if within the promotion that you're sending your prospects to from your email, if in that promotion you're promising your prospect valuable, useful information, you can simply just email with all the amazing things he's about to discover in the promotion. So the key is to promise your prospect that he's going to discover unique benefits that he eagerly desires. It has to be something that he wants, stuff that he simply can't find out anywhere else. This type of email, I'll be honest, it's not usually as compelling as the others, but it's a great backup to have in place. If you're writing something like advertorial copy and nothing else is really working or fits just right, this is a great theme to fall back on. And within this theme, you can also weave in some credibility elements for your author or spokesperson, and get into some bullets that promise specific benefits. So you'll see examples of those in this example I'm about to share with you. So this example says, "Dear reader, in the pages that follow, you're going to learn the stunning, untold truth about the prescription drugs you take every day. And you're going to learn about safer, natural alternatives that I believe work better than drugs without the side effects. Your guide for this healthy journey of discovery is the legendary Dr. Marcus Lau. Depending on who you are, you either love Dr. Lau or absolutely hate him. The drug companies hate him because he tells you what they never, absolutely never want you to know about the drugs you take every day. The alternative medicine establishment hates him too. Why? Because he's not a slave to alternative medicine and he demands real scientific and clinical proof before he even considers recommending a natural cure. But his over 25,000 loyal readers and patients absolutely love him because he guides them through the medical minefield straight to the safest, most effective natural cures on earth. Cures that'll help you heal and reverse your worst health problems, often in as little as a few hours. Erase the pain and chronic conditions that can make your daily life miserable. Free you from the toxic grip of prescription happy drug companies who are looking to get richer and richer while you get sicker and sicker. Energize your everyday life and eliminate those afternoon power failures that make you want to take a nap. Protect you from the medical scare tactics the medical establishments use to get you to do what they want instead of what's best for you. Save thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars every year by avoiding the expensive drugs you no longer need." So, like I said, it's not the most compelling and intriguing as some of the other themes, but it clearly lays out exactly what the prospect will discover in the promotion. And you can see in here we use some credibility stuff with Dr. Lau, and also the bullet points of the benefits. We bullet point out the benefits. And so again, it just lays out what the prospect's going to find. It's really clear, straight to the point, and it's a great thing to fall back on if none of the other themes are working just right for you. All right, we've made it through the 18 proven winning email themes, and you've learned exactly how to start your email copy off with a bang and never look back. We've given you all these theming options. We've given you all these tools to let you start your copy off with that powerful momentum and interest and keep building it as you go. And you also have all these proven idea starters from this module. So now it's time to put everything to work. And I want you to remember the main goals that you need to accomplish within your emails. And it's important to look back on these goals frequently, especially as you're writing emails. Sometimes you kind of get lost when you're writing. Or if you start to get like a little writer's block or something, coming back and looking at these goals can really get you back on track. So the first goal, start your email copy off with momentum. You need to build that intrigue. You need to get that your prospect hooked right with that first sentence, right with that first paragraph. If you don't do that, if you can't start your copy off right, your readership is going to be virtually nothing. So once you get them reading, we need to introduce and deepen your product or service's benefits. So we want to identify with the prospect exactly what benefits he would want and how our product is going to get him those benefits, and then deepen and deepen and build on how our benefits are exactly what our prospect wants. Next is we need to get the prospect nodding his head in agreement. Anytime your copy is good enough that your prospect is actually physically reacting to it or verbally reacting to it, if he's nodding his head as he reads, if he's saying, "Oh yeah, that seems true," you've got him hooked. You wrote your copy exactly to hit home with your prospect, and you're going somewhere strong. So if you're reading through your own copy and it feels strong and you get to a place and it feels like a little lull, I want you to ask yourself, what would my prospect be feeling here? Is he going to be nodding in agreement, or is he going to look at this and get bored? And if the answer is not that he's going to be nodding in agreement, then you need to change that part. You want him agreeing the entire time through your copy. We also want to, within the emails, we want to establish the condition or basis of our sales argument, basically the problem and solution. What's the problem that your product or service is going to solve? Why? What is going on with your prospect that what is his problem, and then what's the solution, and how is your product the solution? And throughout the entire email, we want to intrigue, fascinate, and interest our prospect into reading more. And that's true from the very first sentence all the way down to the call to action. We need to keep building that intrigue. We need to keep introducing interesting points directed right at our prospect that's going to hit home with our prospect and keep him reading. And then, of course, our main goal, everything that we do, is leading into our prospect taking action at the end of the email. If he doesn't click at the end of the email, basically the email fell flat and we failed in it. But if you work in the right theme and all the other things that we just covered in this bullet point list, starting your email off right, the benefits, nodding in agreement, the sales argument, intrigue, he's going to take action. So really that last bullet point, getting our prospect to take action, is really a result that you'll get when you work in everything else. And really, ultimately, your job is to just come up with an email that matches the right theme. And that's going to perfectly flow all the way from your subject line down to your call to action. And that's really going to make it impossible for your prospect not to read your email. If you have that right theme and it flows perfectly, your prospect's in it to the end. So this concludes this module, but you do have a little bit more work to do. You have 6 more themes to write out, these last 6 themes that we just covered. So take your own product, your own service, your own promotion, go back and write the email introduction, just the intro, using all 6 of the themes that we just covered. And once you complete this, you'll have a total of 18 email starters, email introductions. And you'll really start to see how these work. You'll see which ones are most powerful for your product or service, and you'll also get a feel for where the other ones would and wouldn't work. So look through the 18 openers that you have and see which of them feels most compelling and which one you think is going to really work best for your target audience. But at this point, we're still in the beginning of the system. We're still building and building. So you don't need to settle on one just yet. But pick out the ones you think are the best and then work off those ones as we continue through the Email Millionaire system. And then one last thing. I touched on this in the introduction, but until you become a more seasoned copywriter, every time you have a new promotion or you're going to send out a new email, I want you to revisit all of these 18 themes that we just covered and really work through each one of them and see which one fits best for what you're trying to accomplish with your own product or service. You'll see some copywriters and email marketers, they kind of get stuck and they always use the same theme because it's something they're comfortable with. And I'm not saying that can't work. Some email marketers, they really do rely on one theme and it works great for them. But there might be a better theme that could work. So at least give yourself the opportunity to see if there's a better theme out there that you think is going to really hit home with your prospect better.